Consideration of the meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Number 3 is cemetery plat, 6th addition to Willow River Cemetery, west of 9th Street and north of Wisconsin Street.
Cemetery plat that's being proposed by the Willow River Cemetery Associations on this is 9th Street and Wisconsin Street would be down here. Probably the best way to generally describe the area that's being proposed for the cemetery plots. This is the driveway or entrance into the west side cemetery, and the main entrance into the cemetery on the east side of 9th Street is about this location. There's a number of spruce trees along the street right away. There's approximately 750 plots that's being proposed. The subdivisions that were previously platted were vacated in 1927. So streets and alleys have been vacated in this area. The plots would be approximately about 25 feet back from the curb. Then you have the public street right away would be about 15 foot west of the curb, and then you'd have 10 feet west of the property line. So Mr. Jim Rush from the Cemetery Association's here. I recommend approval.
Did you want to speak on anything, Jim? Can you go to the podium if you want to speak, and your name and address, please, would be appreciated.
I'm Jim Rush. My address is 952 155th Avenue, New Richmond, Wisconsin. I'm on the cemetery board and have been for about 20 years. I don't know. I'm here to answer any questions you might have about this.
Is this a natural just extension and growth of the cemetery for it to accommodate, unfortunately, people that we need to accommodate for? Is that what you would say this is?
That is the reason we are doing it, and we needed to get it done fairly quickly because we are running out of room. The only way we raise any money to continue to maintain the area is by the sale of graves. People donate, and the city is often very generous in assisting. But our primary income source is the sale of grave sites, and that's the reason for this.
Thank you.
Just a question. Looks like you're going to parts of lots 4 and 5 per the handout and the map over there. Does the cemetery own all of lot 4 and 5, or do you own all the way up to Wisconsin Street?
We own all the way to Wisconsin Street. As Denny was making his opening remarks, he remarked about the entrance to the old cemetery. That was the original cemetery on the west side.
Right.
So we own from the north side of that, or downhill from the entrance, all the way to Wisconsin, and from 9th all the way over to 8th. As a reference, as you are driving by this, Denny mentioned the big trees along 9th Street. There is also some deciduous woods on the west side of this, and the object in platting it this way was that as long as we can, we wanted to be able to have access north and south and not disturb the woods. So all of these grave sites are out in the open.
So you have room for future expansion beyond this, and as well as the other question I have is how long will this? Well, I guess we don't know how long it will last, but what do you anticipate? It's kind of a bad question, isn't it?
5 years ago, it would have.
Sorry.
5 years ago, we probably could have made some projections. At this point, with cremations accelerating, what used to accommodate one person now will accommodate 4, and there might be regulations changing in the future. We don't know. So at this point, we can't predict how long it will last, but we hope it'll last a good long time.
Right. Yeah.
Will there be, Denny mentioned the right-of-way and then the buffer zone and all of that type, in other words, the distances. Would the Cemetery Association have any plans to put trees, put shrubs, to do something in that buffer area to differentiate it or separate it from the street, the road, or anything? That's a curious question, not anything that's appropriate, but I'm just asking that.
At this point, we have no plans to do that. The only thing we are aiming to do is as little disruption as possible. That's why we wanted to stay to the east of the deciduous woods. Some of the conifers will be in the way for some of the grave sites, but we will encourage people not to buy those.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval?
I do. I motion to approve the request for
Thank you.
this with Denny's stipulations to that, please.
Frank seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Will this come before city council, and should I be here?
It will come before city council,
July 9th, or
the 17th,
January,
December 19th,
oh, December.
17th,
17th.
December 17th.
2012.
Shedding light or shedding humor on this issue, but is it true the Cemetery Association is gonna sell these lots on layaway plan, or?
You mean serious?
No, I'm not serious.
I was a little nervous there. I'm like, you looked really serious. I
Mary
thought it was
wants
a
6
joke,
of them.
but,
Have you put in your reservation?
well, I thought he was joking, but I didn't even see the smirk come out, and I'm like,
That's
wait.
part of the humor, is delivering the line.
Layaway plan, I get it. I'm slow tonight.
Yes, you are.
It's the 19th. 19th.
19th of December.
Are we not in,
The council
okay.
meeting.
Y'all, okay.
I assume Liz will probably send me another.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get there, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to make a note, Jim.
Yeah, sorry. Right, number 4 is the final plat for Red Cedar Canyon Four Winds, 13 one-family residential lots and 3 outlots. Hans Hagen Homes, John Rask is here for Hans Hagen. Denny, did you want to speak first, or?
Well, this proposed subdivision's one of several phases of the subdivision. It actually separates into 3 different locations. There's 13 one-family residential lots that's being proposed and 3 outlots. Those 3 outlots will be subdivided in the future. I believe I cited in my comments there'd be an additional 9 lots created out of those 3 outlots that are being proposed. Again, there's 3 locations on the west side of Bayberry Court, north side of Wedgewood Circle, and then the east of West Canyon Drive and south of Eagles Nest. The proposed subdivisions are in compliance with the preliminary plat and revised preliminary plat at the area near Bayberry Court. Recommend approval. Streets and utilities are already in. It's just a matter of platting the lots themselves. Mr. John Rask from Hunsagen Homes is here tonight. I believe he's got a board to present. John, if you want to make some comments, and maybe the Plan Commission have some questions of. Yeah, you can come up, yeah, please.
Apologize, I should have given you some frame of reference here with the plat. Just hold that here if it needs to show up on the camera. Again, my name is John Rask with Hanshagen Homes. As Danny mentioned, the lots are really in 3 locations. And what we're doing here is planting lots for future sale as we look ahead to the coming year. As inventory numbers have come down, which has been a positive thing. We need additional lots to sell. So that's a good problem to have. So we've got just added some inventory here where we did a cul-de-sac this last year. We've got 2 lots up here that will be added as estate lots. We've actually just sold this one right here, which is part of the reason we're coming forward at this time. So these 2 will be added to an estate association, which are the single-family homes that receive lawn and snow removal, and that's the homes that are generally located here in this area of the neighborhood. These lots here would be our traditional single-family lots. All the lots are really have the same requirements and setbacks and sizes. It's just these are the association maintained, and then these are the general single-family lots that we've continued to build around those row townhome units. So those are the 13 lots. As mentioned, those are part of the estate. I know there was some questions from folks in the neighborhood about those and if those were going to be added, and the answer to that is yes. We also have a association matter going on in the neighborhood now, where we're when we created the original Red Cedar Canyon neighborhood. It was for the entire site. Everyone was part of a master association that maintains the monuments and the public area. Under that association, we had 8 years in which to add property to the association, and that time has passed us. And what we're doing is we've created basically a shadow association to add all the new lots to. So all these lots that we're planning now are added to that new association, and what we're doing now is merging the association into one. So at the end of the day, it will be a seamless one association for all of Red Cedar Canyon, but because of the restrictions, we've had to go that route to make that happen. So that's going on now, and I think that might have led to some of the questions. I would say we had the same issue with the estate neighborhood, which was an 8-year requirement in which we could add properties to that. So with that, we'd be approaching the estate board to go through a similar arrangement where we create a new association and then look at merging the two. And that would be something we just need to work out with them in terms of that process. So I've talked to the management company about it recently, and we get the paperwork together to present to the board. So that's just by way of information. It doesn't affect the planning of the property, but it may help answer some of the questions for people here this evening. Yes.
Just one question, if I may. Have you had any objections to everything that you've said? Has any existing members of the neighborhood, has any potential members of the neighborhood raised any objections to what you're doing, or have they said this is a good plan, this is what we want to do to see this come to completion? I mean, if you would give us current status, please.
Yeah, in terms of what I understand, because we're not in charge of the association, so I'm not the one having the direct conversations, but Crystal, who's the city's management company, what she tells me, she's met with the boards for the various sub-associations, the estate homes, the quad homes, and the row homes have met, talked about it, and there doesn't seem to be objections that at least I'm hearing from them. They're in the voting process right now where the members vote to approve the merger. If they weren't to approve the merger, what happens is the other folks would just remain as a separate association on their own. They wouldn't have to necessarily contribute to the open space if the overall didn't want to accept their money. So the long and short of it is it's fairly a simple process because the existing association basically is allowed to now receive the money from the new members. If they don't, they don't. So there's no additional obligation put on the overall. So there's no additional expenses there they have to incur as a result of this. It's just an opportunity to collect dues from new residents in this area. So,
Paul, you had a question?
Yeah. Is this the last of the outlaw property or the property that can be divided in Red Cedar Canyon? So is this like the last?
no, there are going to be a number. We've got 2 cul-de-sacs here.
Wondering if that.
Yeah, we've got additional here.
Okay.
And some additional land here, an additional outlot here, some here. And the way this merger is set up is all of these then can be added. This is a one-time process, so it's not something that has to reoccur. It's basically recognizing that all these future outlots will be a paying member of the association.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to get at, if this is going to be an issue in the future.
No,
I'm confused about Bayberry Court. I thought the council approved all of Bayberry Court last year. We didn't? We had 2 lots short?
Yeah, the preliminary plat was approved, so you approved all the lots, but we final platted it from basically this point around. So now we're just doing 3 additional lots there.
And then I know there's a few residents from Red Cedar Canyon. Does anyone want to speak at the point or ask questions? Go ahead, Larry.
I'm Larry Bauer, 94 Quail Circle, Hudson. I'm the president of the Estate Homeowners Association, and all of the members of the overall association have been advised of the need to merge the 2 overall associations, and that process is underway. Tonight, this is the first time I've heard anything about the need for the integration and the merger of a second estate association. That doesn't necessarily represent a problem or anything that should stand in the way of this. I just point this out to John, that if you were under the impression that city's management representative had told you they've had conversations with us about that, they have not.
Do you have any objection from what you've heard?
I do not have any objection personally. My responsibility as the president of the association, though, would require that I go back to my members, the other 44 owners, and poll them and explain to them what's going on. We've not done that because we didn't know about that.
Yes, thank you.
If I could just add one point of clarification, that is correct. We have not, Crystal, maybe I misspoke, or I was, Crystal representing the overall board has met, as I understand, with the sub-associations to talk about the merger of the overall association. She has not met, as indicated, with the estate association on this matter. In fact, we haven't added any estate property in probably 5 years, so I wasn't aware of this problem until today when that question was posed to me, was do you have a similar problem? And as I went back and read the document, I discovered that yes, the 8 years for the estate association had also expired. So it's, I should have maybe used the word problem because it's something that just, there's a time limit there that's passed, and we can either create a new association or we can merge them, and that will just be a matter of what the current residents prefer to do. So we have enough other estate lots that it could stand on its own. I think it would probably be to everybody's benefit to merge it, but those are discussions that we'll certainly have as we create those documents and get the association organized.
I think that's two separate issues in a way. I mean, the lots are there, they're going to get built on eventually. So whether the associations merge or not, I think is two separate issues, because that's a separate vote. It's not going to determine whether or not the builders build on these lots. But that's just my opinion. But Gordon, I saw your hand. Did you want to go speak?
Yeah, take advantage of the opportunity to ask John a question or two that doesn't necessarily bear directly on what you're going to do, so please indulge me. I'm Gordon Kennard, 36 Eagles Nest Circle. There are other areas that around Eagles Nest Circle that haven't been platted. An outlot you're creating tonight will be 2 lots. The center hasn't been platted. And then on the west end, there are some other lots that are on Eagles Nest Circle. Can you describe the type of homes that you plan to put in there? Will they be estate homes as we have understood to the future?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they will. The lots we're referring to are these two, this internal circle here. The one we've sold here is, I believe it's the Cimarron. I've got a drawing of it if you'd like to see it. It's about a $290,000 home. So it's similar one level is what we're offering now as to what's out there. If you've been on our website, you'll see that we're doing custom homes as well for people who want to do custom homes. We're not just a off-the-shelf builder. We'll do whatever people want. We've actually I guess we're doing a custom Rambler here as we speak. So we generally start with those base plans, but yes, they'll be consistent.
And they would be in the estate association.
This one not, but yeah, the future ones would be our intent to have them all in the association.
And anything platted already on Andrews Bay and in Quail Circle is already in the estate association.
Yeah, that's correct. These in here are already part of the association and annexed in.
Is there anything on Andrews Bay that's not platted? Which way is that going?
Yeah, all of those are platted as of now. So this whole cul-de-sac is platted and part of
all the way up to the outlot that you're creating tonight.
Yeah, yeah. So there are a few additional lots here that would be platted at a future date for single family.
Thanks, John, for clarifying. Appreciate that.
I have one question then, based on your questions. Is there any need, based on your statements, of time for further clarification and more questions of the members going forward to make this clear and upfront and okay or not okay as to what the intent of this is? If I may ask that, please.
I don't have any other issues I think that would need to be addressed by this group tonight. We have adequate time to survey our membership and get feedback and do that appropriately before any final vote would need to be taken. Our bigger issue is really not the plots of the property itself. Our issue is the need as we see it to have one estate association that represents all of the homeowners. And working with Hans Hagen will be our responsibility, not that of the cities.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Your review's very restricted to the subdivision itself and not the private covenants, not the homeowners association. That's a separate issue held by them, so.
Had to ask the question.
So I have one more question. Why not plot out the rest of Bayberry Court and Eagles, I understand Eagles Nest, that's a lot of lots that are still in the middle of Eagles Nest, but you have one more outlot on the edge there, I believe, of Eagles Nest. And like probably room for, I don't know, three lots on Bayberry, maybe 4, maybe I'm wrong. Why are you stopping? Why aren't you just completing those corners?
Yeah. We, as you know, as you've probably watched this development occur over the years, have platted it in phases. Some of that allows us to make adjustments. If, you know, here where we made some adjustments, you know, if we come up with some new product and we say, well, geez, a couple more feet on this lot would make a big difference, we're able then to shift lot lines around. You know, all the services and utilities are in there, so that, you know, it doesn't give us the ability to just go in and recreate. You've got a preliminary plat you approve for so many lots, so it doesn't mean necessarily we can add lots unless, of course, we come back and ask you. But it just gives us some greater flexibility to do some things if we wanted to make those fine tweaks based on future product or a buyer that comes forward. Sometimes we do a custom home and they want 2 extra feet and the lot next to it has some extra square footage, so we'll take that, make it fit. And we've done that as we did here, where we kind of customized that a little bit as we've looked at the current market. So gives us, and we also try to, it gets a little in a larger neighborhood build in some fashion where we're not spread out in every little part of the neighborhood. We try to keep certain areas where we're not building so that we're not construction traffic all throughout the neighborhood. And we're not always as disciplined maybe as some of the neighbors would like, but that's our general approach, where we try to fill in and then work our way out so we're not bringing traffic by people, and it keeps our salespeople focused. We don't, if we put all the good lots out there, they would all sell right away, and then you're struggling. So some of it's just a sales approach and marketing approach to put lots out, let them work through that before we bring more inventory on. So,
All right.
I could be wrong, it doesn't, aren't you also not taxed on an outlot and you're taxed on a plot?
there's not much difference. I've had that conversation with your assessor, so I know the answer to that. It's improved land, so they look at it, it's got services in, it's got street to it, and they assess it fairly close to what you'd see on a platted lot. So
I like to move for approval of the plats as laid out.
And I will second that again with Denny's stipulations and recommendations, please.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you. Number 5, consideration of continuation of a conditional use permit outdoor vehicle sales for Hudson Auto Sales. 1000 O'Keefe Road. Mr. Volin is here. Denny, did you want to speak first? Or?
Again, this is a renewal for an existing conditional use permit. In 2008, the Common Council approved a 3-year extension. My only concern is that sometimes cars are parked beyond the paved parking area on the west side, gets them in partly in the right-of-way, where if you pull up the stop sign, it's a little more difficult to see down O'Keefe Road. I just strongly suggest to Mr. Volin that the cars be limited to the paved parking area. Other than that, recommending approval of extension. Last time was 3 years. What time period you may want to consider, if you want to consider continuing, it's up to you.
I'd like to make a couple comments. Number one, you've done a very nice job. You've improved that area, which was a problem. I don't know if you people were here earlier, but we had some issues there, and so we thank you for that. I would ask you to take Denny's recommendations seriously. We've done that. And then last, I would like to recommend approval, but I would also like to stay at a 3-year time frame, as just in case something comes up. I mean, I don't know if we have any guidelines or something to say that we could go 5 or anything like that, but 3 years is a long time, and so I would like to keep it that time.
Second the motion.
Okay, did you have any comments you wanted to make?
No, just thank you for your comment, and thank Denny for his advice over the years, and to let him know that we have pulled the cars back. Every now and then that happens, and we'll cease that. We'll make sure it doesn't. Thank you.
Kevin, Frank, nothing? Quiet on this side. Frank, you have something?
Does this gentleman have something to say on it?
No, no. Okay, we have a motion and a second, correct? All those in favor? Aye. Right,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Any other business for future agenda?
I would like to bring up one issue, if I may, please. I have had constant contact from neighbors, local residents, for the potential thought of need, let me phrase it that way, of a composting site, something that the city of Hudson should have for leaves, sticks, yard debris, grass. I mean, I don't know what all is involved in that. I know there has been reasons for objection for that, or reasons we could not even consider that. But I guess what I think we're at the point on a long-term basis that should we be canvassing our neighbors, the towns, North Hudson, all that, and should we be coming up with a site for a long-term plan to be doing that? And I do think it is, when I hear that dumpsters full of leaves are being hauled away and thrown in the trash when they could be composted, when they can't accept plastic bags, there's just a bunch of issues there that, to me, I feel are negative, that we need to be doing something. Our neighbors have done it, River Falls has done it, Woodbury has done it. I don't know what the limitations are to that. Obviously, there are some, but I would ask the city to seriously look into that and to consider that going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it'd be an issue to be referred to the Public Works. Those discussions have taken place. I don't think it's necessarily a dead issue, Fred.
Okay.
My understanding, there was maybe some cooperative efforts between multi-jurisdictional, not only city of Hudson, but town or other jurisdictions that might lend to efficiency of that type of facility, plus also citing that type of facility. So certainly we can pass that issue on to the Public Works and ask them to continue review of it.
I would ask that because I think that going forward, the issue is not going to disappear. And I guess it just hurts me to see leaves thrown into dumpsters and hauled out of here.
Why did we stop? What did we lose that we stopped being able to drop the leaves down? Like next year, we're not taking leaves, right?
No, I don't think that decision's been made.
Oh, I thought I understood it had.
As far as
We
I
went
know,
from
the way-
plastic bags to paper.
Fine.
That's fine.
Recyclable
Yep. No,
bags are required, but other than that, I'm not aware of any other decisions being made.
But we went from burning to non-burning to plastic to recyclable, and then the stuff's being hauled to Ladysmith. I mean, I don't know where it's being hauled, but it's something, I mean, it just,
It was my understanding that they weren't going to be taken down there next year, and you're saying that that's not
I'm not
necessarily
aware,
the case.
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
okay. Well, I don't know,
Let's-
but,
Let's dial in the conversation since it's not on the agenda though. and-
No,
No, I know.
So,
I mean, we
Just
can
a-
refer it to
Yeah.
Yes,
Public
please.
Works,
Yes,
that's where
please.
it should go.
and then I'll move to adjourn.
did you have something for future agenda, Danny? I thought you were going to say.
No, I just, one is the next meeting scheduled is for Thursday, January 5th. We do have a couple items that will most likely be on the agenda. I'll send out a email, just letting you, remind you of that date. If you can't attend, please send me a message back. And secondly, my kind appreciation for all the Plan Commission does and your cooperation and assistance to the City of Hudson. I mean, your volunteer members, and greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Denny.
And then I move to adjourn.
And we have a second.
Second.
All right. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.